Let's take a look at how to map a new variable without creating a new field, also known as a column in QGIS. So we have a UK districts dataset, and I'll open the attribute table and we can see there is a label name column which tells us the name of the area. There's also some population data from mid-2019. What I would like to do is create a map showing population density in each area, but we don't have an area column. So what can we do? Well, let's just do a quick check. I'll double click on the layer to go to layer properties, and I will go to the information section, and I can see the data is in British National Grid and the units are in meters. So that's all good. I can use this to create a population density measure for people per square kilometre. So let's do that now. And we don't need to create a new column for this. I'll double click the layer to go to layer properties and then symbology. Instead of single symbol, I'm going to use graduated, because we're going to use a graduated colour scheme where we indicate high or low population density using colour. In the value section, we can use the existing columns if we just want to map something like population, but that's not very useful. So instead we'll click the little expression button and we'll create an expression. What we want to do here is go to fields and values, double click population, divided by, and here we just type $, an area. And that's going to give us a measure of population density. And then we can click OK, and the color ramp I'll just change to a slightly different one. Let's use reds. Click classify, and I click OK. So we see population density mapped there, but if we look at the units, this is not quite right. We want to do per square kilometre, but the units here by default are square meters. And there are 1 million square meters in a square kilometre. So let's just figure this out. So we wanted to divide it by area. And if we do multiplied by 1 million, we see it's the wrong way round. But if we do it by divide by 1 million, then we get the correct number. It can be a bit confusing, but the area in square meters, to convert it to square kilometers, we divide by 1 million because there's 1 million square meters in a kilometer. And if I click OK, and then I click classify, we'll see something that's a lot more sensible. So the highest values in any local authority are about 16,000 people per square kilometre. The lowest values are about 9. Now I know this is right, so that's fine. It can be a little bit confusing at times which way you do the sum. So it's population divided by area, but if your units are in meters and you want to convert to square kilometres, then you'll divide by 1 million. So if I click OK, you'll get the same pattern, but the numbers will be right. Now let's say you wanted to do it in square miles. Well, for that, all you'd need to do is know how many square meters there are in a square mile. So let's double click the layer again. And in this case, I'll click the expression button, and I know there are 2,589,988.11 meters in a square mile. So I'll click OK, and I'll click classify. We're going to get the same pattern, but we're going to get different numbers. A square mile is bigger than a square meter, so we get higher values at the top end here. Click OK. But of course the pattern is going to be the same. So that's how you can very easily map a new variable when it isn't in your data set for something like population density. As long as you've got a population column and your data is projected correctly so you can calculate the area, then you can do these kinds of calculations without creating a new column. And it can be really useful and save you a lot of time when you're doing your work in QGIS.